Hello, good afternoon to you all, and welcome to the commentary hub for the first of two live FA Cup commentaries this weekend. Tomorrow we've got a repeat of the 1983 final between Brighton and Hove Albion and Manchester United, but it's the other half of Manchester we're concentrating on today. It's Manchester City against Sheffield United, who are probably the outsiders of the 4 teams left in the FA Cup this season, and crucially are without 2 of their key players. Tommy Doyle and James McAtee both will not play because they are on loan from Manchester City, and under the FA rules they cannot compete, sadly, from a neutral's point of view, in today's semi-final. So that puts Manchester City at a complete advantage. We've really got a game here that's a real classic tortoise versus the hare, really. It's Manchester City, obviously, the strong favourites. They're going to be the whipping that will be the hare, and of course Sheffield United the tortoise. But we've seen so many times in football, things can always be. It's a funny old game, as one person once said. So Sheffield United will still feel they may have a puncher's chance, but this is going to be a very tough one for today. This is JB presenting from Wembley with Russ Vernon waiting in the commentary box, and let's hand over to, let's just go to Russ just with some team news. So is there any other, apart from the obvious 2 that I've just mentioned, Russ, is there any particular team news that we need to know about?
Well, Manchester City have made a few changes, JB, and Ortega's coming in goal. Stones has dropped out from the win over Bayern as well. Diaz as well. Ake also drops out, along with Rodri and De Bruyne. So there's a number of changes that Man City have made. Sheffield United have made a number of changes as well. 2 other changes you've mentioned is Doyle's been dropped, is out because he can't play his former club. Well, his parent club, should I say. McAtee's now on the bench, can't play against his parent club either. Daniel Jebison does start in attack for Sheffield United alongside Ilman and Jai.
Thanks, Russ. We'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes' time. So we've got a full league programme going on. Well, what we're going to do at half-time, as the teams are actually in the tunnel now, and we'll be crossing to Russ as the teams come out, just give you some latest scores from the Premier League. Earlier today, Russ might want to close his ears at this point. Fulham 2, Leeds 1. Leeds still in trouble at the bottom of the Premier League, or towards the bottom. They're still at the bottom 3. Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0. So Brentford have dented Villa's European ambitions potentially there. Palace and Everton still 0-0. Leicester have turned it around against Wolves. They're leading 2-1. And Liverpool lead Nottingham Forest 3-2 in an absolute cracker at Anfield. Burnley, who could win the league today, trail to a goal from Samfield for QPR, but there's still 15 minutes to go in that one. Blackpool have given themselves a real chance. They're winning at Birmingham, and Rotherham are drawing against Bristol City. Millwall and Wigan drawing 1-1. Preston and Blackburn, the derby game kicks off at 5:30, and we'll keep you updated with any developments in that one as well. And Norwich, looks like their playoff dream may well be over. They are crashing to defeat against Swansea, and up in Scotland, Celtic have been held quite brilliantly by Motherwell 1-1 at the moment. But we'll bring you up to date with all the scores from England and Scotland at half-time with a full classified check with myself, JB. But now it's time for the main event. The first of 2 live semi-finals tomorrow. We'll bring you Brighton against Manchester United in the company of Paul James. But today it's Sheffield United and Manchester City's turn in the first FA Cup semi-final. The winners will come back here on June the 3rd for the final. It's going to be a real titanic struggle for Sheffield United on paper, but then with football games, everyone on paper, not one bit of it. But it's time to hand over to your match commentator, who's going to take you through the whole 90 minutes, and we will have a decision today, incidentally, whether it's through 90 minutes, extra time, and or possibly, and I say possibly very, very loosely, penalties. But the way Manchester City are playing at the moment, you get a sense that it may not go that way. That's not to say that Sheffield United will not give it a good go, but they definitely will. Ilkay Gundogan will captain Manchester City this afternoon, and John Egan, well, him and his back three will have a real tough job on to try and keep Erling Haaland, who scored 48 goals this season. He's just such a terrific player, and of course Ireland missed a penalty in midweek in the European Cup. Just goes to show he's human after all. As the teams come out to a raucous atmosphere here, 80,000 here at Wembley to greet the two teams, and what an atmosphere it's going to be. It's Manchester City against Sheffield United for a place in the FA Cup final. Let me hand over to your big match commentator. It's Russ Vernon. Russ, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, JB. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, depending where you are in the world. It's Manchester City against Sheffield United in the first of two FA Cup semi-finals. And Manchester City have made 6 changes to the side, which dumped out Bayern Munich in the Champions League in midweek. Ortega, Walker, Laporte, Gomez, Morris, Alvarez all come in. It's Edison, Stones, Diaz, Ake, Rodri and De Bruyne who drop out. As for Sheffield United, they made 3 changes. Foderingham comes in between the sticks for Davis, who drops to the bench. Norwood not comes in as well for McBurney, who drops to the bench. And Daniel Jefferson comes in for the man who's on loan from Manchester City, Tommy Doyle. James McAtee was on the bench last time out, cannot feature as he's also on loan from Manchester City. So let's run you through the two sides then. Starting with Manchester City, who line up with Ortega in goal. Walker, Akanji, Laporte and Gomez across the back. Gundogan is the captain, Bernardo and Mark in midfield with Mahrez, Alvarez and Grealish behind and supporting Erling Haaland. The bench is Edison, Diaz, Phillips, Stones, Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden, Palmer and Lewis. As for Sheffield United, is Foderingham in goal, Baldock, Ozic, Egan and Robinson across the back. Is in midfield and Lowe across the back with Robinson as well at the back. So it's a back 5 for Sheffield United. Norwood, Berg and Fleck the midfield trio, and then Iliman and Jai, who featured in the World Cup for Senegal, you may remember back in November, December, and Daniel Jefferson up top. The bench is Davis, Basham and McBurney, Sharp, Koulibaly, Bogle, Clark, Orblaster and Brooks. Sheffield United in going fairly well in the Championship, just sitting in second place at the moment in time, and they'll be hoping to get into the top half and stay in second, should I say, and earn their place back in the Premier League. The Sheffield United are all in their red and white striped shirts that they normally play at home. Manchester City in their sky blue kit that they play at home. Let's remind you who the officials are. Stuart Howell, the match referee, assisted by Lee Betton down and Guy Gillett is the fourth official. Reserve assistant referee is Daniel Betham. VAR at Stockley Park is Tony Harrington alongside Sean Massey Ellis. The referee, which is Stuart Howell, will get the game off and underway. Sheffield United will kick off, tackling the goal all the way to my right hand side, and we're underway at Wembley. With Sheffield United in possession with Egan, who clips the ball forward down the right hand side looking for the run or Daniel Jefferson and Iliman and Jai down that side. Egan wins the header again as Gundogan just blazes the ball forward. He breaks into the path of Robinson as Haaland tried to get in there, and he goes all the way back into the arms of Foderingham in between the Sheffield United sticks. It remains Sheffield United, Man City 0, Sheffield United 0, 30 seconds gone. If you just join us here on the commentary, we're also live on Commentary Up 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and also on our Twitch channel as well. You're listening to Russ Vernon bringing you this game. Today, JB is the presenter, and we'll hear again from him at half time as Sheffield United play a long ball forward through John Egan, and he breaks into the ball in the penalty area, and Sheffield United have got the game's first corner inside 55 seconds. There was a fantastic ball over the top looking for Baldock, who managed to get in there and force a corner off Gomez, And now Sheffield United will take the corner on this near side where Norwood comes across to take it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 players inside the penalty area. James Norwood is there. We've got Robinson, Amazozic, Egan all up from the back. As Norwood delivers this corner, brings in towards the penalty. Shot comes in, shot saved by Ortega. Sheffield United have the game's first chance. It breaks below, puts the ball back in towards the penalty area, and Ortega comes rushing out to his area to claim the ball on the left hand side. But I'm just looking at this again. Really let it down by, I think it was Egan, and he fell to Ilman and Jai, whose shot was saved well by Ortega's leg. With Sheffield United with the game's first chance inside 2 minutes. What a start that would have been for Sheffield United in this FA Cup semi-final. Fantastic start to the FA Cup semi-final. Sheffield United almost taking the lead. But here comes Manchester City. It's Bernardo who keeps the ball in for Walker. Clips it down the line for Bernardo. Right down the line is Kyle Walker. Up against this former club is Kyle Walker. And he just wins his side to throw in. And Paul Hickenbottom there, shouting really good praise towards his players so far. We'll keep you across this game as we keep you updated on some of the scores as well. We'll keep you updated. Well, tell you if there's any late goals in any of the matches. We'll keep you across that. As we just see Jack Grealish in possession, running down the left-hand side, drops it back to Gomez. Gomez now plays it into Akanji across to Walker, and Walker does well to keep the ball in play there, but he's being forced to play all the way back to Ortega, who's under pressure from Njai. This time it was Jemison who put him under pressure, and this is a good start from Sheffield United inside the opening 3 minutes of the game. Here's Laporte now on the left-hand side coming forward as Manchester City attack from right to left in this first half. Here's Kyle Walker, up over halfway now. He's got Bernardo wide on the left right-hand touchline, hugging the touchline. I think he's got a bit of paint on those boots now. And he drops it back to Akanji. Akanji up over halfway and inside the Sheffield United half and left to Laporte. He plays a 1-2 there with Gomez and now drops it for Grealish. Back to Laporte again. And he drops it into the centre-back corner of Akanji. Comes up over halfway, then into Alvarez, who drops it back to Akanji. Akanji now pitching it towards this left-hand side. And Gomez will look and find Grealish. Grealish will attack down this right-hand side as Sheffield United's right-hand side, Man City's left. And the ball's played across to the far side. Here's Walker. And Sheffield United will cut that ball out. And two players going for the same ball now in shape of Alvarez and Walker, and Sheffield United managed to just clear up towards halfway, but he's coming back at them again. Here's Bernardo, tries to get the ball through, and he goes down this time. Does he know Alvarez thought he was foul this time? He says no. Referee Joao says no. Breaks into the path of Gundogan inside the centre circle. The captain of Manchester City. Now here's Kyle Walker, who is, I think he's a boiled Sheffield United fan as well, Kyle Walker, as well as playing for them. As JB said, needs to be a winner today. So it could be a long evening, morning or afternoon, depending where you're tuning from, for myself. As here's Gomez on the edge of the penalty area. Julian Alvarez drops it to Kyle Walker. Out wide is Riyad Mahrez. Attacking the Sheffield United left hand side where Lowe just clears it away, and Jai flicks on towards Jemison, who draws a foul from Laporte, and is a free kick to Sheffield United. It remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary of JB Sports Storm FM. We'd like to bring that in. And Rotherham United have just conceded in the 90th minute. Andreas Weimann with the goal there. It's Bristol City 2, Rotherham United 1 in the Championship. We'll keep you across all the matches this afternoon. Full classified check of all the results at half time on this game with JB. He'll bring you the classified check on all of today's matches as we see Jefferson on this right side, looking for the ball from Fodringham, who clears up towards him, to that free kick, West Fodringham. Flicks across the limit, and Jai, who strikes in on goal from Jefferson's flick on. Goes wide, Akanji play him off. But that was a good bit of play from Sheffield United. Long ball forward. Jefferson winning the header up against Laporte. And then Akanji come across to put Iliman Jai off there. And he had to take it early, did the Senegalese man. But couldn't beat Ortega. As here comes Laporte up towards halfway for Manchester City. Over halfway now on the left hand side into Ilkay Gundogan in the middle of the park. Now Kyle Walker over onto that right hand side, and here's Bernardo Silva. Drinks one way then the other. Still going Bernardo Silva, strays out to this left, and Jack Grealish. Grealish being booed by the Sheffield United fans in and around us. As here's Grealish again. Down this left hand side, still going Grealish, back it goes. Gomez with the ball in, cleared away by Sheffield United again. I think it was Ahmed Ozic who got his foot on that ball to clear the ball. Clipped in over the top, looking for the run of Riyad Mahrez, and he's cut out well by Fodringham, who sends it up towards Daniel Jemison, who looks to try and beat off a Kanji, but Kanji's there first to the ball, and he drops it back to Ortega. Sheffield United, as I mentioned earlier on, going well in the Championship at the moment, second in the division. Could still have a chance of getting the Championship title if Burnley slip up again today. They were losing 1-0 before we came on air. I'll let you know if that's finished that way, so JB, you may need to switch your ears off in a moment or two, but I'll let you know if your side has lost in the end. As here comes Alvarez out wide for Riyad Mahrez. We'll go you through some scores in a moment or so. As we see Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. As here comes Walker. Back it goes to Akanji. We'll let you know it's now 2-1 to QPR against Burnley. Burnley are trailing 2-1. They did level, but then they've just conceded in the 87th minute. Chris Martin with his second QPR goal after Sanfield gave them the lead. It was Manuel Benson who opened the scoring in that game. Who pulled Burnley level, should I say, in that game. As now Gomez picks up for Manchester City. What can he do with possession here? He can attack into Gomez. Gomez finds Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan with the ball. He goes out to the far side and the ball's in towards the penalty area from Bernardo Silva. He was. Just couldn't work out who he was for a moment. There's Mahrez who will look to take the throw in. Will he look to find Julian Alvarez? It looks as though Man City, instead of playing their unusual 4-3-3, it looks as though they're playing 4-4-2 today, Manchester City. Which is a bit different. As the ball's up towards Jemison and is cleared out for a throw into Manchester City as he is taken quickly by Laporte. Still being played in the game of turf. More Burnley still trail by 2-1 in that game. So it looks like the Championship winning his title is on ice. Maybe if they fail to win at Blackburn in midweek, then Sheffield United may have a chance to creep back into it when they're getting back into the Championship action. Taking a break this week to feature in this FA Cup semi-final. Last meeting in the FA Cup. Instead, I'll tell you about that in a moment as Jefferson tries to get behind the Man City defence again, but Kanji did well to tidy up and find Ortega. Now Man City will come forward with Gundogan. Last meeting in the FA Cup between these two sides was 27th of January 2008. When Sheffield United won 2-1. Shelton instead the scorers. Daniel Sturridge with the goal for Manchester City. There's been 53 wins for Man City, 34 draws, and 38 Sheffield United wins. We'll have to see how that goes. Blackburn play later this evening at 5:30 against Preston North End. We'll keep you up to date with much as that as we can. As here is Bernardo Silva. He's playing it out wide. Now is Ilkay Gundogan who switches it into the path of Aymeric Laporte. Laporte will come forward and find Jack Grealish. Grealish on the overlap. Rolls it into Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan gets it out wide to Jack Grealish. Again, back into Gundogan. Gomez. Now Grealish. Still getting Jack Grealish. Now Gomez again. Delivers the ball in, headed away by Ahmed Ozic, and is behind in front of the Sheffield United fans and behind for a goal kick. Corner kick, should I say, to Man City, who's piling on the pressure. Now. And it doesn't look good news for Burnley. They still trail 2-1 in their game against Queen's Park Rangers. QPR hadn't won away from home all season, I don't think. Burnley with hadn't lost at home in the Championship. Looks like it could be doing that today. Sheffield United conceded another corner. John Egan this time heads the ball out. Almost into the 94th minute at Turf Moor. Burnley 1, QPR 2 is that score. I'll keep you up to date with that one because I know JB is interested in that one, but we'll focus on this one here as well. Morris with the corner for Man City this time and headed away again by Robinson this time. And he goes out for a throw, but there's a Man City player down injured with hold his head. Is a Akanji. Gets up now. Akanji. Wasn't happy with the challenge in there, Akanji. But the referee was happy with it. So no free kick given there. It's Man City and Sheffield United still locked to 0-0 coming towards 13 minutes. And now is Jack Grealish into the path of Gomez. Now Laporte. Now Akanji, who spreads the ball across to Kyle Walker as Man City will look to come forward. Here is Mahrez back to Walker, and Walker's been forced to go backwards by Sheffield United. Here's Man City will try and come forward again, but Mahrez goes down. No free kick again for a foul on him, and now he's back with John Egan, who spreads it to the left of Robinson. Down the line from Norwood is a brilliant one, turns out, as Ilman and Jack tries to get him behind, causing Man City a few problems. That long ball over the top, I must say. Well, Laporte has now picked up the loose ball and he will come forward. Here's Ilkay Gundogan. Now is Kyle Walker into Bernardo Silva. Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva again. Breaks towards Alvarez. Will bring it under control, and then Robinson has blocked him off there to stop him getting through. Fairly according to the referee. And there's a throw in, which Grealish will take into Alvarez. Across now to Walker. Walker to Alvarez. Copycat Morris out wide. And then Bernardo tried to get the ball back. Ola tries to get the ball back and Ola shoots! Puts the ball into the back of the net, but the whistle has already gone. It will not count as a foul in the build-up. Free kick to Sheffield United. And the referee has already blown for a foul. In there for a foul by Haaland. And I think it was Robin. Let's have a look who it was on. It was on Oliver Norwood. And the referee gave a free kick. Still being played at Turf Moor. Burnley still trail by 2-1 into 7 minutes of stoppage time there now. We'll try and bring you that result for you. If you're listening, any Burnley fans out there, listen to this. We'll try and bring you their results for you. As Foderingham will take a free kick for Sheffield United. Long downfield looking for the run of Jefferson, who can't go on the end of it. Now Ilman and Jai pitches the ball under control and finds Baldock. Good work now to Sanderberg. Sanderberg breaks it towards the penalty area. Still going Sanderberg. Clips the ball up. Headed away by Walker. Comes across to John Fleck. Fleck will see Robinson in support. Tells him to go into the box. He's faced by Ireland. Robinson goes for a low drive. Straight into the arms of Ortega. And Sheffield United fans are pleased with that effort there from their side. Into the 8th minute stoppage time now in the game of Turf Moor. Burnley 1, QPR 2 is the scoreline. Still not over there yet. Burnley fans, if you're tuning in on JB Sports, over to hear the conclusion of that game. We'll tell you how the game ends there when we get the full-time score, and then we'll have the full classified checks at half time of this game. With JB, here's Kyle Walker. How wide it goes. We had Mahrez. Ilkay Gundogan. Now, here's Bernardo Silva. And now Sheffield United just clear up towards halfway, but it's picked up by Ilkay Gundogan. Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. As Grealish picks up over on this near side of the left. Good play this from Manchester City, just keeping the ball, moving Sheffield United around. I almost said Man United around then. Man United in action tomorrow on the channel in the other FA Cup semi-final with Paul James bringing you that commentary. Hopefully it will have Luke Turton alongside him. We will confirm that when we do know anything. As here comes Laporte with the ball forward in towards Riyad Mahrez. It breaks inside the penalty. Mahrez can't get a striking on goal. Robinson clears up towards Iliman Ndiaye, who does well to hold up the play for Sheffield United. Into John Fleck, who goes down under the challenge of Ilkay Gundogan, and the referee is giving a free kick there to Sheffield United foul there on by Ilkay Gundogan on Oliver Norwood. He stamped on his foot. Clear foul. And Burnley fans, JB in particular, turn away, turn the volume down. It is finished at Turf Moor. Burnley 1, QPR 2. No championship title winning today at the Turf. JB will not be happy with that. We'll listen to his thoughts a bit later, probably on the channel. Maybe at half time after he's read out some of the scores, he may give us a brief overview. But I'm sure he will do a video on JB Sports later with to clarify something, to see, so everyone can hear his thoughts overall. But in this game here, is Sheffield United who are holding their own so far against Manchester City in the FA Cup, as Wes Foderingham will collect the ball and clear downfield. There's a wonderful ball forward looking towards Daniel Jefferson and Iliman Ndiaye foot up there. And away by Ilkay Gundogan, he's chested down as here is John Egan to find George Baldock. Flicked on by Sander Berg. He's paused as no one is in behind him. And remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary of the Home of Alternative Commentary. If you are tuning in for the very first time today, thank you very much. Is Russ spinning in the off seat, JB back at base, bringing this game for us. As here is a Kanji, good bit of play now, who switches the ball out wide, and that's a wonderful ball switched out wide. As there's John Fleck, he brings it back, and now Sheffield United will try and attack. Iliman Ndiaye holds up the play well, and they get the ball forward looking for the Iliman Ndiaye, who went on the run after knocking the ball back. Here's Ndiaye, this time he turns away brilliantly. Daniel Jefferson can't help him out there, and Man City win the ball back and will try and come forward now. Here's Gomez just inside the Sheffield United half. Out wide to the left is Jack Grealish, just a couple of yards in from the touchline, so he's not actually hugging the touchline as Mahrez was a few moments ago on the right. Grealish now is on this left hand side attacking. Down the left he goes to Gomez inside. Edge of the penalty area now Gomez. Ilkay Gundogan is there, back to Laporte, now Gomez again. Gomez has been told to go back to Laporte once more, and Manchester City just keeping the ball well. Here's Ilkay Gundogan, who twists and turns and feeds it into the path of Akanji. Now Walker. Wonderful ball through from Walker to Julian Alvarez. Alvarez can't get a striking on goal, and John Egan managed to get a foot in and clear the ball away. Was that because he managed to get that foot in, which is why it's still 0-0, because otherwise I think Man City would have had the best chance of their best chance of the game to open the scoring there. Man City 0, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary if you're just tuning into us. Russ Vernon bringing you this game today. JB is not happy, let me tell you. I'll read you what JB just said about the Burnley result in a moment, or when they were losing, should I say. Is Ilkay going on the edge of the penalty for Manchester City? What can he do? Sets up Alvarez. How wide is Walker? Walker takes a touch. His cross is blocked. Comes out to Morris, whose effort is wide. He's appealing for a corner, not given. And that goes wide in the end from Riyad Mahrez as Manchester City go close. It was a wonderful curling effort. We thought he'd go a deflection off John Fleck, he didn't. And he goes all the way wide. And then, in fact, he might have just got a little nick there, but he goes just wide in the end. It remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. JB, he said he's come through to me here, he says, how the hell are Burnley losing against QPR? And now that should mean how the hell have Burnley lost against QPR? And I don't have any answers for you, JB, because I thought where you played on Tuesday against Rotherham, thought, yes, I know you drop points in that one, but I thought you'll have enough to win today. But obviously, he's not transpired like that. As here's Grealish now for Manchester City, plays it to Alvarez with a curling effort, and what a fantastic one-handed save there from West Fodringham to keep Manchester City out. Fantastic effort there from West Fodringham to keep the shot out from Alvarez, and it was a fantastic curling effort from Alvarez on the edge of the penalty area, and that goes just wide. It's Man City 0, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary. You're listening to the commentary 2, JB Sports, Storm FM, and it's Russ Vernon who will be bringing you this game. As is a corner to Manchester City, which will be taken by Julian Alvarez. It initially looked like to be Riyad Mahrez, but Alvarez moves in towards the 4, who appears to have his shirt pulled. Referee says nothing to it, as Njai forces Grealish back, and illegally, as Grealish falls to the floor, and he remains 0-0. And some sad news, which I'll tell you in a moment. Rochdale, after 102 years, have been relegated from the English Football League to the National League after 102 years, after they lost 1-0 to Stockport. Full classified check on the results to come at half time with JB, so stay tuned, Julia. How your side got on earlier today with JB at half time, as here's Americ Laporte on the just a few yards in from the left hand touchline. Rolls it further side to Ilkay Gundogan, who clips the ball to Morris. A wonderful back heel into the path of Bernardo Silva. Back towards Morris as Robinson just nips in to clear the ball away, but then he fetches down Bernardo Silva there, as it's a free kick to Manchester City against Sheffield United, as Robinson just at his heels clipped there. Remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. If you're just running into us here on the commentary, big thank you for doing so. Russ Vernon with the commentary today. You can get your comments in live. JB has. JB's putting through my ear though. He's speaking to me directly through my earpiece as well. As here is a free kick for Man City, which Mahrez will take. He delivers the ball in and flicked away by Norwood. It's a corner to Manchester City. Norwood did well to get a letter onto that. Fodringham has been the normal number 1 goalkeeper for Sheffield United, back into the side today after missing out through suspension in the last few championship matches. for his red card against Burnley the other week. 26 gone, still 0-0. As a corner comes in, headed away at the far post by Norwood. And Fleck tried to go on the end of that. As Man City come forward, is Jamal Lowe tries to clear away, takes the deflection off Bernardo Silva, and behind for a goal kick. Bernardo Silva is not happy. He thought there were double deflection there. I thought there was just one deflection. But this is done that far side. Lee Betts felt otherwise. Man City 0, Sheffield United 0, 26.5 minutes gone. It's the FA Cup semi-final here on the commentary hub. Alternative remote off-tube remote commentary. This is not an official product of the FA Cup. This is not an official commentary of the FA Cup. And we'll keep you across the action today. Here's Riyad Mahrez, who Leslie run for Kyle Walker, who's got space to run into. Walker drops it to Bernardo Silva, delivers a cross in and is deflected behind off John Fleck as a corner to Manchester City. 27 minutes gone, and Man City now starting to up the ante. Some people may ask, if up the ante, what about the uncle? Hey dear, these jokes, folks, these are the best. I'm not sure, should I continue with my jokes, JB? Or should I stick to the commentaries? The ball is whipped in towards Laporte. Looks for the penalty. Illiman and Jai just clears up towards halfway and goes out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City, which Grealish takes to Laporte, who gets back from his exploits inside the penalty area a few minutes ago when he tried to head home the corner that Man City just had. Here's Kyle Walker for Manchester City, and he drops into a Kanji just inside his own half, and he drops it in towards the halfway line in the centre circle where Gundogan drops it out wide to the right for Kyle Walker, which tries to pick out Haaland, and Haaland wasn't alerted to that pass coming, and Sheffield United have got the ball back. Here's Ahmed Odzic. Wonderful run from Ahmed Odzic, and now Sheffield United will try and come forward with possession. As Baldock brings the ball down out of the night sky. As Gomez is fouled there by George Baldock. A late challenge on the Man City left back, and Baldock may go into the book here, I think. Very late challenge there from George Baldock after he played it back to Laporte, and that could be the game's first yellow card. I'd be surprised if it's not. In the end there, and he's left me surprised and speechless. That is not a booking there. I thought that was a booking. But referee Stuart Atwell didn't think so. Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. Here on the commentary hub 2 JB Sports Storm FM. Also live on our Twitch channel. If you are listening on Twitch and you're about to go out, just put it to audio only on Twitch on your mobile phone. Get in your car and plug your phone into your car, and then you can have our commentary on while you're driving around if you've got the Twitch app on your phone. And then you can just have it as a normal phone while you're driving, and like you've just got the radio on in your car. So here's Gundogan to pick out Bernardo Silva, and Bernardo Silva goes to infield. A low strike in on goal, but it's easily cleared by Wes Fodringham, and it remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. And after half an hour, I would have to say that Paul Eckingbottom will be really proud and pleased with how his side has defended and set up here against the Premier League champions, who may end up winning it for another season if Arsenal continue to bottle their lead. He's headed forward there, winning by Norwood, and Berg flicks it on as well, looking for Daniel Jefferson, who puts Ortega under pressure, and it's a low ball out for Walker, who's under pressure there, and the referee is given a free kick foul by John Fleck on Kyle Walker. Those two play together at Sheffield United, and he left one in on his former teammate there. Here is Gomez, who comes up towards over halfway over on the near left hand side is Grealish. Comes in from the touchline now, he's got the ball. He had painting issues for a moment there, Grealish. And now he pits out Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez attacking down the right hand side, back heel into Kyle Walker. It's out of penalty there. Walker leaves the ball in, comes off the head, leg of Robinson there, I think he was, and behind for a corner. And Robinson then turned to the rest of his defence, Egan and Ozic, the other two centre-back partners, and asking where was the positional play. As Man City turn the corner quickly. Here's Mahrez. Low ball into Gomez. Now Walker. Walker will look to get the ball out wide to Mahrez. Gomez now. Sergio Gomez gets the ball out wide to Jack Grealish. Inside to Manuel Akanji, who forces another corner. And Man City, after Sheffield United's early corner, last few corners that have been given to the Premier League side. But what I will say is, based on this performance so far from Sheffield United, and I hope it's not the case of the commentator, sorry Blades fans if it is, Sheffield United could fit well into the Premier League next season should they go up, and you wouldn't tell they're in the Championship with the performance they're putting in right now as Holland heads the ball down. Jefferson clears the ball away. Most of the case of the commentator there. Njai trying to get away from Walker, and Walker just owes him off. And now Man City just have the ball back with Gomez. Now Walker, who will look to find Ilkay Gundogan. And Gomez to the paw. And now is Akanji to Walker. Laporte telling Gomez to stay out wide as Akanji just collects the ball and runs into Haaland. Good turn away by Erling Haaland, and now get the ball out wide to Jack Grealish. Grealish coming towards the penalty. Inside the penalty area now. Drops it back for Gomez. Pierce for handball. No. Handball given us. Sanderberg fetches the ball away. Up towards Daniel Jefferson. And Jefferson's onside. Plays it into Iliman Ndiaye. Sheffield United come forward. Can Sheffield United score here? Still going Iliman Ndiaye. Still going Iliman Ndiaye. Iliman Ndiaye putting Walker under pressure now. Man City managed to recover and get the ball away. Sheffield United fans are pleased with what they're seeing by their team, the travelling fans from Yorkshire. Some of their fans will be going to get some half-time refreshments while they can before the queues emerge. Although we are 11 minutes away from half-time, 34 minutes gone. Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. As here is Bernardo dropping it inside to Gundogan via Gomez, and Gundogan's pass towards Mahrez is poor, and he was behind for a goal kick. Fodringham is being told to take his time, which he is doing. He's waiting for the ball to come towards him from the crowd behind us, and I'm just watching this again. This is Sheffield United's chance early on inside the opening 2 minutes where Iliman Ndiaye had the freedom of the penalty area to take a touch and get his striking on goal without no one really closing him down there. And Sheffield United are very unlucky to still be 0-0 here. Ball is their foot. Jefferson Coleman the header is flicked on this time by Fleck, looking for the run of Jefferson. He can't pick up it now. Bernardo Silva can break over halfway. It's got Walker steaming ahead of him. And there is Walker. Walker cuts in field. Cleared away in the end by Sheffield United. I think that was Lowe managed to get the ball clear. Now here is Gundogan who's steaming forward. Gundogan gets the ball out wide. Lowe up against Mahrez. Mahrez down on the edge of the penalty. It was Bernardo Silva out wide there for a moment. Now it's Grealish coming up towards the edge of the penalty. Inside. Grealish still going. Jack Grealish forcing away from goal. Brilliantly there by the Sheffield United defenders, Berg and Baldock. Now Iliman Ndiaye is bad, but Gomez wins the header against the Senegalese international. And now here is Ilkay Gundogan. Man City have got some class players on the bench. Rodri, De Bruyne, Foden, Palmer, to name a few, on the bench. Sheffield United have got a few good players as well on the bench. Bogle, McBurney, Sharp, just to name a few of those players on the bench. It remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. What a game this has been so far, especially for a neutral watching this. My team lost earlier, which doesn't matter if you any Fulham fans here. You're nothing special. We lose every week. As now Sheffield United just get the ball clear, and it remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. Here's Jack Grealish, rolls the ball in, cleared away, and now Ilman and Jai can't go on the end of that, and they will now come forward. Man City will come forward, should I say, with Gomez inside the Sheffield United half. Out to this left, and Bernardo Silva will keep popping up on the left, popping up on the right, popping up in the middle. Sheffield United players don't know which one to mark him, as Gundogan sees space out wide for Morris, but will he opt to use it? He goes to Walker first of all, but now they've spotted the space, Sheffield United, as Lowe goes out towards him. Morris has the ball, edge of the box is Grealish, now Gundogan. He'll carry Gundogan into Gomez, and now brilliant ball into Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva delivers the ball in, but is deflected into the arms gratefully by Fodrick, who says, "Thank you very much." I'll just claim this ball with comfortable ease, and it remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. Ball cleared out to his hands by Fodrick, and it's a fair distance on that, as now Berg picks up the ball. It's got Baldock outside of him, and here's George Baldock. Inside it goes to Ozic, who makes the forward run. Gomez is there. Gomez clears away. Baldock's intercepted. Now Sander Berg leaves the ball in. No red and white shirt inside the penalty to go on the end of that one. Will come in against Sheffield United. Here's Jamal Lowe. Away from Arlen and back to Robinson, and now back to John Egan. Egan clips the ball up towards Sander Berg, who can't keep the ball in play, can he? He did, and Sheffield Man City have got possession back. It remains Man City 0, Sheffield United 0. And towards the final 6 minutes of the first half, and I must say Sheffield United have really held their own so far, and is yet to be winning level. Here's Bernardo Silva. What a fantastic challenge yet again from John Fleck, who had to get back. He was over that time, who had to get back and help out his midfield. Here is Mahrez, still going. Wonderful challenges. Here's by Norwood. When Norwood is not happy, the referee has seen it differently. Stuart Howell, and a free kick now to Manchester City foul on Riyad Mahrez. I mean, just seen a replay there, guys. I think the free may go spot on, but Mahrez did leave the ball behind and lean into the Sheffield United midfielder Norwood. So I can see why Norwood were complaining. It's Man City 0, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary of it. Will it be a good free kick? This is Mahrez to take. He leaves it for Gundogan, who delivers the ball in. The post coming in round the back. Bernardo Silva is hitting to the ground. Jefferson trying to get the ball away. And the referee has given a penalty to Manchester City. It's a penalty to the citizens on the Premier League side. They have a way to get into the lead. The penalty called by Bernardo Silva there, Daniel Jefferson. And he can really have no complaints. The Sheffield United man. The first angle looked like he got a foot to the ball, I've just seen, but on those other two angles, it looked like he got the man first. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's see what this angle looks like. He's got the ball. This angle looks as though he gets the ball. Well, the other two angles he showed before looked like it was a penalty. The referee really checking the ball, and Robinson, it looks like, is tampering with the penalty spot. Check complete, penalty is standing, but it looked as though it was offside, and the Sheffield United player got the ball. Illumin and Jai got the ball. It's Riyad Mahrez to take this penalty for Manchester City then, and to give Sheffield United the lead. Riyad Mahrez, the Algerian, just before half time. Can Manchester City get the lead just before half time? It's Riyad Mahrez. He steps up and scores. Saints finding him the wrong way. And Manchester City take the lead. It's Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. And I must say, this is harsh on Sheffield United to go in a goal behind. But it's Riyad Mahrez who converts the penalty, and it looks like a very harsh penalty decision as well. But the referee didn't change his mind, and it's Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. Yes, it's a harsh penalty decision, I must say, as it looked as though Daniel Jefferson did get the ball first, but the referee said it was a penalty. VAR checked it, and the penalty decision stands, and is Man City will lead by a goal to nil. Riyad Mahrez on 43 minutes on the penalty spot. Is Man City 1, Sheffield United 0, and this is undeserved for Sheffield United in my humble opinion. I think Sheffield United deserve to go in level at the break and do not deserve to be behind. And I think that was a rush. I think that was a clear and obvious error. He actually did get the ball, and I saw it 3 or 4 times, and I thought so at the time as well that he got the ball. So I think that's a clear and obvious error made by Stuart Tadwell and Tony Harrington not overturning it. Whenever we last had VAR controversies on the channel. Oh yeah, the game between Leeds and Liverpool last Monday, when the first Liverpool goal should have been disallowed for an handball. VAR said it was too far to go back. This one wasn't too far to go back. We just missed it completely because there was a offside from one of the Man City players. I think it might have been Grealish, and then there was an handball. Then there was a Sheffield player won the ball as it's in towards Alvarez, and he's just behind by a ball off for a corner. Well, the flags are up, he wouldn't have counted anyway. So offside, no corner taken then. Well, I'm just watching this penalty decision again. He gets the ball there for me. He gets the ball there. He gets the ball there for me. It was Daniel Jefferson who committed the penalty one, and he gave the ball there for. He got the ball, Daniel Jefferson, and that wasn't a penalty. Sheffield United Paul Eckingbottom can feel odd done by here, in my humble opinion. We into 2 minutes to stop time in this first half, when Man City lead by a goal to nil. In a controversial way, no, from the penalty spot. The referee pointed to the spot after he judged Jefferson to have fouled Bernardo Silva. And although the replays suggest he got it wrong, VAR said it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And now the ball's in towards a penalty area. A Kanji's there. Jefferson tries to go on the end of the through ball by Illiman and Jai. It breaks now for Egan to Robinson. And Norwood. Out wide to Jamal Lowe. No, Max Lowe, should I say. Keep calling him Jamal. It's Max Lowe, sorry. Sorry, Max, if you're listening. Or you listen back later. Here's Jack Grealish from Manchester City. And now is Riyad Mahrez. Grealish is limping. And that's why some of the Sheffield United fans are cheering. But at the break, coming up towards the break, then Man City lead by a goal too. Controversial penalty, but Sheffield United have given it as good as they've got. And for me, do not deserve to be trailing at the break. Man City are leading 1-0. Red Mahrez penalty on 43 minutes if you're just tuning into us. As we're into first half stoppage time, he's out for throw-in. And Man City will have that throw-in, which will be taken by Kyle Walker. And Sheffield United manager Paul Eckenbottom just has some last-minute instructions to Oliver Norwood in the Sheffield United midfield. As the half-time whistle, right on the 2-minute mark, goes, and it's Man City lead by a goal to nil. It was a penalty controversially given and taken by Riyad Mahrez, given controversially by Stuart Tadwell and referee VAR Tony Harrington, and it was taken and converted by Riyad Mahrez. Excuse me. Out of there then, it's Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. Join me again in 50 minutes for the second half. Right now, let me leave you with JB.
Thank you, Russ. Welcome back. Welcome back to the presenter. It's JB here. Well, it's a tough one, that VAR call. Russ reckons it wasn't a penalty. It's 50-50. It's one of those for referees. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't give it, or you're damned if you give it, you're damned if you don't give it. It's a very tough decision. The assistant, the VAR Tony Harrington, decided that it was a penalty, and referee Atwell agreed with that. What you can't argue with, the penalty was dispatched with great gusto from Riyad Mahrez. Bit surprised he'd taken it, considering Erling Haaland has got 48 goals this season. Having said that, Haaland did miss a penalty in midweek, so maybe that was just, maybe Mahrez was more confident perhaps. But Sheffield United cannot be too displeased with their performance. They played really, really well, and arguably could have scored in the first 5 or 6 minutes of their semi-final. But what they mustn't do now is let that decision worry them too much and get uptight about it. They've got to just regroup at half-time and make sure they come out and really give Manchester City a really, really good second half. Even if they don't win today, give Manchester City a game and go down fighting. That would be my message to Sheffield United, who will obviously have been buoyed by the news at Turf Moor today that Burnley have lost 2-1 to QPR, and it's a mystery as to why that's happened. But, well, maybe BK is just teasing us, and Burnley will possibly win the title on Tuesday. Who knows? Right, anyway, there's lots of other football going around the country today. We've got a full league programme from England and Scotland, so we're going to run through all the tables. And I mean, there is a little bit of news before I do bring you the full classifieds. Lucy Bronze is there's a lot of Lucy Bronze was injured today in Barcelona's Champions League victory over Chelsea, and there will be a concern. There will be concern about that, but apparently she's fine after limping off in that game at Stamford Bridge with the World Cup, and already one player out. Leah Williamson, she's out the World Cup. And the last thing England, Sabrina Vegan would have needed before that tournament in the summer was for Lucy Bronze to go, but she's okay. We're told. Okay, so let's run through all the scores. As you know, Manchester City leading Sheffield United, but let's check all the other full-time scores then, starting with the Premier League. Fulham 2, Leeds United 1, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 1, Crystal Palace 0, Everton 0. Leicester City 2, Wolves 1. And Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Into the Championship, Birmingham 0, Blackpool 1. Bristol City 2, Rotherham 1. Burnley 1, QPR 2. Cardiff 1, Stoke 1. Coventry 2, Reading 1. Hull 1, Watford 0. Norwich 0, Swansea 3. Wigan 2, Millwall 1. And Preston and Blackburn have just kicked off 3 minutes into the game, currently goalless. League 1, Barnsley 2, Oxford 0. Bolton 1, Shrewsbury 0. Charlton 2, Morecambe 3. Cheltenham 3, Forest Green 1. Derby 1, Burton 0. Fleetwood 1, MK Dons 0. Peterborough 0, Ipswich 3. Plymouth 3, Cambridge 1. Port Vale 2, Bristol Rovers 0. Portsmouth 1, Accrington Stanley 0. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Exeter 1. And Wycombe 0, Lincoln City 2. League 2, Wimbledon 1, Swindon 5. Barrow 0, Carlisle 1. Bradford 2, Gillingham 2. Colchester 4, Sutton United 1. Doncaster 1, Newport 3. Hartlepool 0, Crawley Town 2. Leyton Orient 2, Crewe Alexandra 0. Mansfield 1, Stevenage 0. Northampton 3, Harrogate 1. Stockport 1, Rochdale 0. Tranmere 2, Rinsby Town 0. And Walsall 2, Salford 3. National League, Altrincham 2, Torquay 2. Bromley 2, Chesterfield 0. Dagenham and Redbridge against Halifax, that finished 0-0. So did Eastleigh against Solihull Moors. Maidenhead 1, Barnet 1. Maidstone United 2, Notts County 5. Scunthorpe 1, Southend 3. Wealdstone 2, Dorking 2. Woking 2, Gateshead 1. Yeovil 0, Oldham 3. And York City 2, Aldershot 2. And Wrexham against Boreham Wood is a 6:30 kickoff at the racecourse ground. So to Scotland and to the Scottish Premiership, Hearts 6, Ross County 1. Celtic 1, Motherwell 1. Dundee United 2, Livingston 0. St Johnstone 1, Hibernian 1. And St Mirren 0, Kilmarnock 2. Scottish Championship, Arbroath 0, Cove Rangers 1. Hamilton Academicals 2, Partick Thistle 2. Inverness Kelly Thistle 1, Dundee 1. And Morton 1, Raith Rovers 0. Into Scottish League 1, Airdrie 1, Dunfermline 1. Anglo 1, Falkirk 4. Edinburgh 2, Celtic Hearts 2. Peterborough 1, Clyde 1. And Queen of the South 2, Montrose 3. League 2 in Scotland, Albion 3, Stanleyasmuir 1. Dumbarton 1, East 5 0. Forfar 0, Bonnie Rigwells 1. Stirling 3, Annan Athletic 1. And Stranraer 3, Elgin 1. Into the Welsh Premier, Aberystwyth 3, Carmarthen 2. Airbus 1, Haverfordwest 4. Cardiff MU 2, Ballatown 1. Pennybomp 2, Newtown 1. Pontypridd 3, Pointtown 2. Pointtown United 2, I should say. New Saints 4, Conisky 1. And finally the Danske Bank Premiership, Carrick Rangers 1, Glenavon 3. Cliftonville 3, Crusaders 3. Dungannon Swiss 3, Portadown 2. Glentoran 3, Coleraine 0. And finally Newry City 2, Ballymena United 2. And that brings you up to date with all the scores from today across the UK. And let's have a look at the table. No change at the top, obviously. Manchester City not in Premier League action, currently in our featured match today at Wembley. Manchester City winning 1-0 at half time, but it's a 5-point gap. In fact, none of the top 4 play today. Aston Villa move up to 6, above Liverpool, points clear. Brighton now dropped to 8th. Of course, they're playing that second semi tomorrow. Fulham up to 9th, Brentford 10th. With that point, Chelsea in 11th place. Crystal Palace should be safe. They only need another couple of points to make absolutely sure what a job Roy Hodgson's done. I think Wolves and Bournemouth should be fine. But look at that now. It's any 2 from these 5. Leeds, Leicester, Everton, Forest and Southampton. It's so tight out there. In fact, I would probably wager to say Southampton may have won out there, to be perfectly honest with you. So it's any 2 from these 4. Leeds, Leicester, Everton and Nottingham Forest. You wouldn't like to guess that, would you? Okay, we'll go to the Championship. Burnley are still 10 points clear, but Sheffield United, of course, have that game in hand. Luton up to 3rd, above Middlesbrough. Coventry and Millwall completing the picture. But whatever happens, Coventry will be in the playoffs come the end of the night, even if Blackburn Rovers do win their match against Preston. Although that's not set in stone, Preston could still win themselves. Sunderland not out the woods, not out the races yet. At the only end of the table, I think QPR just might do enough, unfortunately. That's annoyed me, that result today at Burnley. Rotherham, Cardiff, not quite safe. Huddersfield, point above Reading. Blackpool have given themselves a chance with that victory at Birmingham, and so too have Wigan. So the bottom 3, not casting stone by any means. And up in Scotland, Celtic had a chance to win the title today, didn't take it, so they drew 1-1 with Motherwell, so they still remain a healthy. They only need another victory to take the Scottish title, and Burnley, as I said, had a chance to wrap the title up, but failed spectacularly against the QPR team that should not have won that game on paper, but there you go. Let me just give you a quick update in the World Snooker Championships. Ronnie O'Sullivan is through to the quarterfinals of the World Snooker Championships in Sheffield. He beat Hossein Varali by 13 frames to 2. And Neil Robertson is out, beaten by qualifier Jack Jones by 13 frames to 7. And in one of the other last 16 games, after one session played, Jack Lefowski is 7-1 down to Anthony Miguel. And there's 2 games taking place at 7 o'clock tonight. Robert Milkins against Sajiri and Gary Wilson against Jester from Leicester, Mark Selby. So there we go. Let's just check the county championship as well. Somerset against Lancashire. The match has been delayed. Lancashire had made 554 in their first innings. Somerset, in reply, 441 all out. They've just started their second innings, Somerset, 41 for no wicket. But as things stand, the match has been delayed due to rain. So that is the situation in the Lancashire County Championship game. Kent against Essex. Essex had made 434 for 5 declared in their first innings. Kent made in reply are 288 for 5 and trail Essex by 163 runs. Nottinghamshire 364 in their first innings, 274 in reply. Middlesex, Nottinghamshire are 89 for 4, but have a big lead, or a decent lead, with 6 wickets remaining of 179. There has been a result in the game down at Northamptonshire. Northamptonshire beaten by an innings. Hampshire made 482 for 8 declared. Northants in their first innings made 149 and then were bowled out for a paltry 63. Hampshire winning by an innings and 270 runs. And that's just some of the county championship cricket scores that we've got for you there at the moment in time. So just to remind you, tomorrow evening live on the TC Hub, we have the second semi-final between Manchester United and Brighton and Hove Albion, a repeat of the 1983 FA Cup final. And I think this semi-final has the hallmarks of being a much closer game on paper as the one we're bringing to you live today. Although Sheffield United, have given their fair dues, have been giving a decent account of themselves. That's live with you on tomorrow. And that will be Paul James commentating on that one. Paul James will be in the box. We're not sure who he's going to be commentating with, but we'll keep you posted on the Twitter feed for that one. And we've got some very good Football League action as well, and Premier League in this next sort of few days as well. Tomorrow we've got just bear with me a second. I'm just looking for the list of fixtures. We'll find it. We'll find it in a minute. But what I will say is basically we've got Monday Night Championship action with Mike Arneman. That is for sure. Well, bear with us. In fact, we'll tell you the rest of the fixtures later at the end of the programme. But plenty of good EFL and Premier League football coming up on the TC Hub in the next sort of 7 days or so, and it's always good to see Sheffield United out onto the pitch. We're just waiting for Manchester City to come out as well. So waiting for Manchester City, and as soon as they come out, we will cross over to West Burnham for the start of the second half. And there comes Manchester City. So let me just quickly bring you the other fixtures that we've got lined up for you. Luton Town against Middlesbrough, that's Mike Arneman. And then we've got Blackburn Rovers against Burnley with Paul James on Tuesday. Leeds United against Leicester of the update. And then Manchester City and Arsenal on Wednesday. Rotherham United Cardiff with Nicholas Jones on Thursday. So plenty of good football in the next few days. We're about to get underway in the second half. Let's rejoin Russ for the second half with Sheffield United still very much in this semi-final. Can they get back into it against Manchester City? Let's find out by rejoining Russ Furden.
Thank you, JB. You join me as Jack Grealish has possession just inside the Sheffield United half. Here's Ilkay Gundogan now, and back to Merrick Laporte. I turn my good friend the Bearded Twig, who's listening via Twitch this evening. Hopefully you're doing okay, my friend. I won't give your real name out there, even though I do know it now. But he asked the question, will we be covering the Wrexham game this evening? Unfortunately, my friend, we will not be able to cover that one this evening, but I will keep you updated with the scoreline as best I can throughout this game while I'm covering this game between Manchester City and Sheffield United, as the ball is brought down by Red Mahrez, who wins a free kick for Man City. No changes to either side, so I'll run you quickly through the teams. Man City start with Ortega in goal, Walker, Akanji, Laporte and Gomez across the back, Gundogan, Bernardo, Mahrez, Alvarez in midfield, Grealish just behind Erling Haaland. For Sheffield United, it's Fodringham in goal, Baldock, and then Odzic, Egan, Robinson and Lowe, Norwood, Berg and Fleck, and Jai and Jemison. The benches remain the same. I'll give you those in a couple of moments. As here's Kyle Walker now for Manchester City, hitting the ball long, and he runs harmlessly through to West Fodringham, who just takes a couple of touches and a couple more touches with his left boot, now with his right boot, now with his left, and then picks up the ball in his hands, bounces it once, bounces it twice, bounces it 3 times, bounces it 4 times, and then clears it long down through with his left boot up towards Daniel Jefferson to flick on towards Eliminating Jai, while the ball runs harmlessly out of play for a goal kick. If you're just tuned in to us for the very first time today, thank you very much, or very first time in general, thank you very much as well. You're listening to the home of alternative commentary here on the TC YouTube channel, also live on JB Sports Storm FM, and also on the TC Hub 2. and also on our very own Twitch channel as well, which you can hear. We've got tomorrow, we've got Paul James, and hopefully we'll have Luke alongside him for Brighton against Manchester United. And on Monday, as JB just mentioned, we've got Mike Orneman with Nicholas Jones presenting for Luton against Middlesbrough. On Tuesday, we've got Blackburn against Burnley with Paul James from the Championship. Leeds Leicester updates with Luke Tayton. On Wednesday, we've got Man City against Arsenal with Paul James, and I'll be on update duty for West Ham against Liverpool. Then on Thursday, we've got Rotherham against Cardiff with Nicholas Jones. Hopefully we'll have JB back in the box seat next week for one of the games next weekend, potentially the Crystal Palace West Ham game, or even Blackpool against Millwall next weekend with JB. But here comes Erling Haaland now for Manchester City. How wide to this right hand side? We had Morris inside the penalty. Morris still going, twisting one way, then the other. Now twist back, and has to go back to the edge of the penalty area. And Bernardo Silva. Now Morris on the right hand side. He's got to walk on the overlap. He goes inside. He said to Ilkay Gundogan. Ilkay Gundogan inside the penalty area. And Sheffield United just stopped the ball from going out for a corner after he deflected off Iliman Njai. And it remains 0-0. The score, what I should say, remains Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. 4 minutes going in the second half. Here's Walker. Down the line he goes to Morris, into Bernardo Silva. Now here is Haaland to Morris. Now Laporte deep inside the Sheffield United half. Coming up towards the left hand side is Gomez. Out on the far left is Jack Grealish attacking the penalty area now. Inside the penalty area. Going one way, then the other. Grealish still going. Gomez, low ball in, is headed away. Race for it on the edge of the box. Jai goes down. No free kick given by referee Stuart Alwell. How wide it goes to Grealish. Bergen Baldock up against him. It goes to Ilkay Gundogan. Now Walker. And Walker goes for goal from long range. And he flicks over. And behind for a goal kick to Sheffield United. And at the start of the second half, when it's going down for a corner, it was took a deflection. And I didn't notice the deflection when the strike came in from Kyle Walker. Sheffield United have a corner to defend. A Kanjo from the back. Gundogan's in there. Morris across to take it. Dan Kanzen says it's touching. Haaland inside the penalty area. Laporte in there. Kanji. Bernardo Silva. It's Morris who will tear the corner though. In towards the back post. And there's a comfortable claim for Foderingham, who will look to get players moving. But Alvarez was stood in the way so he couldn't kick it. Throws it out to Baldock instead. Now Sanderberg. Loses out to Julian Alvarez to Sanderberg. And now Sheffield United have to do some more defending. Here's Walker for Manchester City. Good play to Akanji. The cross now into Laporte and forward to Gomez. Gomez plays out wide and it's Laporte again. Laporte still coming. Here is Grealish. And now Sheffield United have to do some defending. What can the Blades get out of this, if anything, against the Citizens? Would you like anything to be able to get out of it at the moment? It remains Man City 1, Sheffield United 0, as Morris has possession up towards the edge of the penalty area. Lays inside to Gundogan. Gundogan's balling towards the penalty area, headed up into the air. And Jai nips in there, and it's Jemison who nipped in there as well. Back by Fleck to Foderingham, who clears up towards Jemison to try and win the header. Kanji just climbs over and wins it there. There's the header forward by Robinson. And then Norwood heads it back, and Robinson gets the header wrong and has conceded a corner. And that's a very cheap corner to give away there, as Manchester City look to punish Sheffield United for this slop near to the start of the second half. Dan Cannon said the ball is not touching. Now it is. So Dan Cannon will allow this corner to be taken. Morris will stand over this free kick. Morris delivers a ball in towards the penalty area, over everybody. Paul tries to keep it in and does so, and then loses out to Illiman and Jai, who's being forced backwards, and Jai plays it through the gap. Egan can't get there, and Sheffield United have had to retreat and get back into shape as Man City coming again with Riyad Morris down the left hand side. Oshius on the right hand side as they attack Sheffield United's left. As Gundogan takes a strike in, it's blocked. Fleck heads it away. He's behind for another corner on Sheffield United's left, Man City's right. And Man City has started to turn the screw. Here now. Be interested to see if that is how this game will be. And if we see an equaliser and no further goals, we will go to extra time and potential spot kicks come the end of the game. I wonder if we'll need all those. That it is. The corner is in towards the back post, headed behind again. Well, free kick is being given this time. Foul on John Egan by Akanji, I think he was, on the back post. And Sheffield United have got a bit of respite. And one which is welcoming, I would presume. It's still nil. It's still 1-0 Man City who lead here. As we get ready to keep the tabs on Wrexham against Boreham Wood. Wrexham no win will steal their place back in the Football League next season. With one game to go, and Notts County, be harsh on Notts County should they not get promoted, having secured over 100 points, as here is Mahrez to Bernardo Silva. As Man City will try and come forward here. What can Blades do to get back into this game? Well, they're keeping Man City at arm's length, and there's Baldock, who, according to the referee, commits a foul on Julian Alvarez. I think he was a bit soft myself personally. Boreham Wood with a win. They've got 2 games in hand over teams in and around them, like Bromley, Barnet, Southend, Eastleigh. But they could potentially confirm their playoff place with victory tonight against the league leaders Wrexham, which would give Notts County a chance to get the title and promotion. As opposed to us, and he's in the back post. Oh my word! Sheffield United were asleep in the back. Gomez from the quarter deflected towards the path of Haaland, who slid in, good connection, but couldn't turn it beyond the outrushing Wes Fodringham in the Sheffield United goal. So unlucky can you get? And now, here is Sheffield United in possession. Norwood wins the header to Berg. Now Egan. And Egan racing the way through. Tries to play Jefferson in behind. Daniel Jefferson putting Kanji under pressure. And then Ortega under pressure. And Sheffield United win the ball back in deep inside the Man City off for a moment through an header of Berg. Ahmet Odzic. Down the line it goes, cleared away. Now Man City can break. If we can get this pass right, Man City could be away. Julian Alvarez sprays out wide to Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez attacking the penalty area. Edge of the box. Alvarez again. Edge of the box, Alvarez! His effort is eye wide and not that handsome in the end. And it's Man City 1, Sheffield United. As here comes the first change of the game for Sheffield United. Daniel Jefferson makes way, and it's Oliver McBurney. Ollie McBurney, as is known in the parts of Sheffield where the Blades faithful and Abramo Lane, comes on to replace him. I wonder if we'll see Billy Sharp on a bit later on in the game. Goal kick to Sheffield United is taken by Fodringham as it's up towards Iliman Njai. He breaks for Ahmed Ozic. At the back there for Sheffield United. All pumped long by the feet of Fodringham after, and Sheffield United with a throw in have come off the head of Gomez. The play's been taken quickly as Norwood finds Berg. Into been the substitute. Bit of fresh legs up front and something different for Man City to worry about. As they send Berg, leaves a low ball in. Straight into the arms of Ortega there. Stefan Ortega claimed it easily there. He let Akanji know there. And it remains Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. As here comes Akanji for Manchester City. He's now back with Ortega inside his own penalty area. And now here comes Manchester City's Haaland dropping the ball back for Akanji. Good bit of play this. Here's Ortega for Manchester City. In goal, wearing all orange. Berg closing him down and he has to get the ball cleared forward quickly. Max Lowe nipped in, but then he's back with Man City again. As here's the quick feet of Erling Haaland to find Sergio Gomez. And now here is Grealish with the ball in. He goes out, and there's a goal kick. Grealish just took the ball out there, and it remains Man City 1, Sheffield United 0. Almost an hour gone, and Guardiola may have to turn to his bench soon to try and get this game sealed. With almost an hour gone, only for fetch on the likes of Foden, De Bruyne maybe, potential Cole Palmer as well. He's a top talented player, is Cole Palmer. As now Sheffield United lose out in midfield with Lowe, and now here comes Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez still going through all the way, and Riyad Mahrez makes no mistake, gets his second and City's second of the game, and it's 2-0 to the Premier League champions. It's the second goal of the afternoon for Riyad Mahrez on the hour, just after the hour mark on in the 61st minute. With Manchester City 2, Sheffield United 0. Oh my word, poor. It was robbed, was Oliver Norwood in the middle of the park, and then Riyad Mahrez just ran all the way through, like they weren't even there. Robinson's looking at him. Why not go towards him? Go towards him or something. He didn't, he just let him run through, and he sat down West Fodringham brilliantly, and then he just went, I'll roll it past you. 2-0 Man City lead, and I think now it is potentially game over. I think Manchester City are on the way to the FA Cup final. Man City 2, Sheffield United 0 is the scoreline now, and I can see no way back for Sheffield United now, especially with the way they defended just there. Lazio are trailing 1-0 to Torino in Serie A, still in the Championship. Preston 0, Blackburn 0. In the German Bundesliga, we're still Dortmund 2, Frankfurt 0. 36 minutes gone there in that game. As we see Man City with a 2-goal lead in this game now, and I can't see them being anywhere back for Sheffield United now. As Manuel Akanji picks up the loose ball for Manchester City. Here is Kyle Walker. Rolls the ball back into the path of Akanji. Back it goes to Stefan Ortega. And now Aymeric Laporte. Jack Grealish. Gomez. Back it goes to Laporte. And last FA Cup meeting, as I mentioned earlier, was a 2-1 win for Sheffield United. Could this time be a 2-1 win for Manchester City? Manchester City on course for their 54th win over Sheffield United. As it stays like this. Let me just remind you though, this game, even though it's 2-0 up, this game may not be over as it seems. Because if Sheffield United score 2 unreplied goals, so score 2 goals without reply, we will have extra time. And then if it's still level after that, we'll have penalties. And if it's still level after that, we will keep going in the penalty shootout until someone misses. And Man City coming forward again, it's Gomez. Fantastic run from Gomez, who goes down. Free kick was being brought back from where initially, from where he actually went down for an earlier challenge on him. And Goodwin took it quickly to Gomez, and now Grealish. So Man City just getting on with the game fairly quickly. Grealish rolls the ball inside, and now Sheffield United try and get the ball clear up towards McBain, who can't nail the ball stick. Sheffield United look like they're going to be making another change in a moment. Trying to work out who that one is to come on. I can't see the moment from the angle where it's at. From the view that we've got. Here's Mahrez. Here is Bernardo Silva. Mahrez again. I'll play the through ball looking for Walker. Gomez sprays out wide to Grealish. Grealish attacks down the left hand side as City try and get a third. And it's Mahrez! It's an hat-trick in the FA Cup semi-final for Riyad Mahrez. And it's game over now, surely. It's Manchester City 3, Sheffield United 0. Riyad Mahrez with his and City's third. And this is a long way back to Sheffield for Sheffield United. It's Manchester City 3, Sheffield United 0. And Grealish, creator of that one, fantastic play up against Baldock and Berg. No one stopped it, and Mahrez ran onto it and said, "Thank you very much. Let me just place that beyond the outstretch of West Fodringham and make it 3-0 and seal Man City's place in the FA Cup final while I'm at it." Man City fans turn and do the pause and in celebration. They know that they've got one hand in the FA Cup final now with that 3-goal lead. And it looks as though Sheffield United are making some changes, and Man City maybe make some changes as well. We'll try and get confirmation of that. First change for Man City is Cole Palmer is coming on, and he is replacing Jack Grealish. Phil Foden is also coming on for Erling Haaland as well, and I think Sheffield United has made a change as well, because you can see Billy Sharp on the field of play now. Trying to work out who's gone off for Billy Sharp. I think he may have been Iliman Njai. I don't think Njai is on the field of play right now. We'll try to get that substitution confirmed in a moment for you. I think I've just seen Billy Sharp on the field of play. He has been nicknamed by himself recently, one a couple of times. He's a fella from Sheffield. Yeah, Billy Sharp is on the field, so is Njai and McBurney. So I'll try and confirm who's going off for Sharp in a moment for you guys. With Sheffield United have made another change of their own as well. There is Billy Shaw. And it's John Fleck who's gone off for Billy Sharp in the end. So it's now Sheffield United who have got 3 strikers up front now in Sharp, Ndai and McBurney. But it's Man City who are coming forward again, trying to add a 4th to this game. Here's Mahrez, rolling towards the penalty areas. Cleared away, Walker goes down inside the penalty area, nothing given. Billy Sharp fetches under control and does well to feed Illingham and Jai, who skips away from 1 and 2, and then play the ball down the line for Billy Sharp to run on to. Sharp is through towards the penalty area. Billy Sharp into the penalty area, moves the ball across. Makes with Ollie McBurney, has to pull the ball back, but can't find Sanderberg. Sanderberg gets back at it and wins the ball back for Sheffield United up against Cole Palmer. Sanderberg now up against Foden. Now it's Baldock. Norwood, Baldock. And the ball goes back to John Egan. Robinson, Egan. Egan clips it into Baldock, who flicks on. Gundogan gets there. Baldock's intercepted it. Illegally, according to the linesman over on that far side, Lee Betts. And he gives Sheffield United a free kick, which the referee Stuart Towell agrees. Foul on Sergio Gomez. And is now Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. And it's going to be a long way back to Sheffield for the Sheffield United fans who've had a day out in the capital at Wembley Stadium. Walker drops the ball back to Akanji, and Man City just now cruise into victory. The ball finds Gomez, who runs over halfway, rolls it in towards Foden via a deflection, and then Foden plays it behind Walker, but so Morris has to come and retrieve that. It looked like he might have gone out if Morris didn't do that. Nardo Silva actually left it as well. Now here's a Kanji now for Manchester City. Just inside the centre circle, inside his own half. Rolls it into the path of Gomez. And Gomez spreads it out wide to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer attacking down the left-hand channel. Palmer still going. Palmer back to Gomez. Gundogan. Gomez. Back it goes to a Kanji. Now Riyad Mahrez. Now wide to Kyle Walker. Well, the offside flag is up against the England right back. And it remains Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. If you're in there, be the twig when the game kicks off out and there's any goals while we're on air from the Wrexham game, as you mentioned, we'll bring you that to you. But we do not have no one bringing you commentary on that one today. There's Tommy Doyle, one of the players on loan. It looks like it was Tommy Doyle there on loan from Manchester City for Sheffield United. Was unable to feature against his parent club. Sheffield United have a throw in. Jack Lester there. Stuart McCall, Paul Eckingbottom all in discussion as about what they can do with this one. After a promising first half, I'm not sure what's happening in the second half for Sheffield United. And Sharp is onside. Pierce for handball, and the handball is being given against Billy Sharp. And the referee, his assistant said there was an hand, which is where he's getting for, and yes, it does bounce up on it. Billy Sharp's hand there, and so I think some of the Sheffield United players were asking why the flag went up there. And now Laporte takes a free kick quickly to Kyle Walker. Go just tuning in to us today. Thank you very much for doing so. It's Russ Finn in here, beginning of the game between Manchester City and Sheffield United. It remains Man City 3, Sheffield United 0 here on the commentary up, the home of alternative commentary, as the Paul gets the ball back to Ortega. The other semi-final in the FA Cup will be brought to you by Paul James tomorrow. We'll keep you updated on how that one goes, and who will be with him over on our Twitter feed. You can follow us there if you like. Twitter.com/commentary live 1 or at commentary live 1, whichever one you want to do. And there's a foul there on Anel Ahmedhodzic, the Sheffield United right centre back. And Ahmedhodzic will get forward in towards the penalty area. So we've got another FA Cup semi-final to come tomorrow. Who will face Manchester City in the final? Will it be Manchester United or will it be Brighton? Towards McBrennan, flicks it on, heads clear. And now Mahrez, can he break here now? Riyad Mahrez, can he break on this? Cole Palmer, and Palmer's taken out there, and Bordock is Norwood, and Norwood goes into the bub there, and that's the yellow card for Oliver Norwood. A late challenge and pulled him back. He knew what he was doing there, and the referee spotted it and booked him there, as we see Bogle warming up on the sidelines there for Sheffield United, as we just saw a replay of that. As now the former Leeds United man Calvin Phillips comes on for Manchester City. He'll replace the captain Ilkay Gundogan. Be wonderful if Calvin does get a goal on today, as Phillips just comes onto the field of play. Who formerly of Leeds United, Sheffield United now make 3 changes, as Chris Basham will come on for Sanderberg in the first one. First of the 3 changes. Also coming on is Koulibaly. And the one going off for Koulibaly is, if we can see that in a minute, with Bordock Ahmedhodzic. I thought had a decent game, Anel Ahmedhodzic, and then Jaden Bogle will come on for George Baldock as well. For the Sheffield United changes. Berg, Ahmedhodzic and Baldock off. Basham, Koulibaly and Bogle on. Basham will go into the back line. Koulibaly will go into the midfield, it would seem, by Paul Eckingbottom with those substitutions. Here is Ortega though for Manchester City. Remains Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. If you're just tuning into us here, the commentary, the home of alternative commentary. Russ Vernon to guide you through this game. As here's Cole Palmer from Manchester City. Now Calvin Phillips gets his first touch as he's coming on as a substitute. And he gets the ball back there, just Calvin Phillips to the port. And Gomez into Phillips, and now Laporte again. And Laporte goes back to Ortega outside the penalty area, and he's still going, clips it into the path of Walker. Back it goes into the path of Akanji, and he rolls it back to Ortega. And now Ortega clips it to Walker. Akanji has it. Now it's with Bernardo. Twisting one way then the other. Then the other again and into Walker this time. Down the line he goes to Mahrez. Back in towards Walker. Walker into Phillips. Phillips spreads the play on. Gomez into Foden. Phil Foden, how wide it goes to Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer still going. One way then the other. Back it goes to Gomez. Palmer. Cole Palmer drops it back to Aymeric Laporte. Now here's Ortega for Manchester City. Bernardo now into the path of Aymeric Laporte, who can try and make this way forward. Wonderful bit of play into Walker. Inside to Bernardo Silva. Walker again. Bernardo Silva again. Gives the ball away. Koulibaly and McBurney combine with Max Lowe to fetch the ball away. And now Manchester City will look to be advancing to the FA Cup final at the beginning of June. 3rd of June is the FA Cup final date. And there's Phillips who heads the ball away. And there's a foul there, is it? And now wonderful crossfield pass into the path of Jayden Bogle. Back he goes to Chris Basham. Sheffield United switch to a back four now. And the ball towards Lowe on this near side is cut out. Robinson heads it into the path. Norwood. Now McBurney. And Jefferson can't get the ball forward. Looking for the run there brilliantly of the midfielder Norwood. It wasn't Norwood, it was... I think it was Basham who made the marauding run forward there. Now it's Bernardo Silva for Manchester City though. Spreading the play with ease into the path of Aymeric Laporte. Not only is just to Phillips, now Akanji. Gomez. Akanji again. Sees Walker in space on this near side of the right. And will try and come forward. City look like they're going to be making another change. And it looks as though, I think it's Rodri who's going to come on. Or it could end up being... No, in fact, I think it's Rodri, I think, actually. Will come on in a moment for Manchester City next time the ball goes out of play. To the final 10 minutes remains Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. It's Calvin Phillips. And then there's a stoppage in play for something. Not sure why. It's Bernardo Silva who's making way anyway. And it's Rico Lewis who's coming on. Not seen much of Rico Lewis this season, so I didn't recognise him there for a moment or two. Certainly Man City fans listening who and thinks I can't get your players right. I've not really seen much of your games this season, so I've not really followed. I'm not really sure what Lewis looks like, but I do apologise. As there's Phillips dropping it to Akanji, back to Ortega, and Jai putting him under pressure. We clips it into Phil Foden. Now Cole Palmer, and Palmer wins a free kick. In fact, he's brought back for a foul on Phil Foden, I think. And it'll be a free kick. I'm waiting for... Try and see how many is in the Wembley attendance today. If we can tell you, we will. As the ball is switched over to this near side, it's United having to do some defending. Sheffield United is Mahrez, who's got all 3 goals. Foden, and it's given away by Bogle as Palmer tries to come forward. He drops the ball back. Does he know it? Turns on it. and gets away from his man. Still going Cole Palmer into the penalty. Ball across. First round ball by the City fans. Round that goal, no City player appealed for it. I'm not sure if Pep Guardiola is appealing for handball there, but Cole Palmer did well to get away into the penalty. Got pulled back by Basham. Still pulling him back. And then as he goes down, no handball there. Well, there were some handball goes by the crowd, not by the players because there wasn't any. And here's Cole Palmer clipping it in towards Rico Lewis on the edge of the box. Race for Red Morris. Chests it down. Morris sits the Sheffield United player down. Moves it to Phillips. Now Lewis. Phillips has it once more. Here is Laporte to Gomez. Switching it to Walker against his former club. Walker delivers the ball in. And it's Alvarez. He can't turn the effort towards goal. And is behind for a goal kick. And we're going to get ready to announce who the player of the match is going to be shortly. So I need to get ready for this. Get ready for it in the banner to go across the bottom of the screen in a moment or two. I think people may be able to guess who it might be. We'll announce that shortly. Our player of the match, which is sponsored by the brilliant commentary services. As Sheffield United are getting stuck in to the action over on that far side, Billy Sharp. We wanted a corner, the referee gives a goal kick, Ortega having a drink. And we're just looking at the 3 goals. There's the first one, penalty. More look at it, it's not a, I don't think it is a penalty. The referee took it away and scored. Second one he ran through and sat following him down and then scored. And then Grealish played him in, shot, came in, and it was a one-handed poor save from Fodringham. That's how the goals went as Sheffield, as is Man City 3, Sheffield United 0 in the FA Cup. Be interested to see how this game goes on moving forward, and if we will see any more goals, or if Sheffield United were to start to come back with 5 minutes to go. Can they get a goal here now? And then to the penalty of Sheffield United. The man goes down, Basham goes down, no penalty. Goal kick given to Manchester City. They're claiming the penalty there, but nothing is given. And Wrexham game is about to get underway any second now. Their game against Boreham Wood. If they'll be singing they like it, and they've got Super Ben Foster in goal later, if they end up winning promotion back to the Football League. It'll be quite a while since where all 4 Welsh teams were in the Football League at the same time. As here is Chris Basham now for Sheffield United over on that far side. And then Njai plays it forward and he runs out of play for a goal kick. And in a moment I'll announce the player of the match in just a moment or so, as we see some Sheffield United fans on the screen on my monitor that I've got in front of me, as Man City will try and come away with possession. Ortega being put under pressure by McBurney, and Sheffield United Man City almost playing in risky. Then Phillips will come away with the ball and plays it to Walker. Walker is coming over forward. Walker in towards the penalty area. Still going Kyle Walker. Rico Lewis. Can't get a strike in. Koulibaly nips in and gets the ball away for Sheffield United. Under pressure from Phillips. Robinson. He's got Mahrez, Foden around him. In there, we'll announce our player of the match in a minute or two next time the ball goes out of play. The corner, throwing, or even if it's a dead ball for a set piece. It is Alvarez onto the path of Cole Palmer. Still going. And here is Americ Laporte. Rico Lewis. Manuel Akanji. Now, here is Carl Walker. Rico Lewis. Sheffield United get the ball back. Koulibaly barge off the ball by Walker. Fairly according to the referee. Here is Walker Tamares, the scorer of the hat-trick. And all 3 goals that Manchester City have scored today. Calvin Phillips gets the ball back to Americ Laporte, who plays it all the way back to Stefan Ortega. And Sheffield United being forced backwards as they try and get out of their sticky situation at the back. It remains Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. Got around about a minute left to play here on the TC Hub. Half time in the Championship, Preston 0, Blackburn 0. Half time in the German Bundesliga, Dortmund 3, Frankfurt 0. There's been a goal inside the opening minute of the game in the National League, in a game where, if Wrexham were to win, can seal promotion back to the Football League today, and it is not going according to plan for Ryan Reynolds and Will Makalele's side there. They're the owners of Wrexham. Is Wrexham 0, Bournemouth 1 after just 1 minute in that game played. 2 minutes after 60 seconds is Bournemouth who have taken the lead against Wrexham. Notts County fans, hold on to your hats. You could still have a chance of going up automatically next weekend, depending on how results go. And here's thrown into Alvarez. Should have been goal number 4 as we enter stoppage time at the end of the second half, which is 3 minutes of stoppage time. Thrown and played in Alvarez, and his strike from the edge of the box was dragged wide, and that could and should have been goal number 4 in this game for Manchester City. They deserve this lead, and we're going to announce our player of the match in just a second or so, guys, so just stay with us there as we get ready to announce our player of the match. And the player of the match is Riyad Mahrez, the Manchester City hat-trick hero, is the player of the match, and is Lee Inglove, who has given Boreham Wood the lead after just a minute there. Cheers, White, hopefully doing okay, my friend, is opposing towards the penalty area and is out for the Man City owner deep into stoppage time. Almost played 90 seconds of the 3 added on, so 90 seconds almost remaining in the game. It is Mahrez, scorer of all 3 and the player of the match, into Cole Palmer, to the penalty area. Palmer across, and almost number 4 again. The claim in the corner not being given, and it's now Man City 3, Sheffield United 0. But Inglove has given Bournemouth the lead against Wrexham, and I mentioned before kick-off that Bournemouth would still get a playoff place if they won today, because they've got a game in hand as well, so they could end up being in the playoffs come the end of the season if they beat Wrexham today. Stay tuned to the end of our programme and we'll tell you how Wrexham will get on until we finish. Once this game's done, JB will keep you updated until we come off air. But then where you find your scores, let's find out from there. But as it stands right now, Wrexham will not be promoted tonight and returning to the Football League. They trail 1-0 against Boreham Wood. Where's Manchester City in possession with Aymeric Laporte, who's just keeping hold of the ball with Gomez. Oh, brilliant play from Sergio Gomez, running brilliantly there. And Man City have won a free kick. Foul on Gomez is being given by the referee. Phillips takes the free kick quickly. And Man City just keep the ball around. And the ball, there is the full-time whistle. At the end of the game, we'll fetch JB up in just a moment to bring you full to round out the programme. With this hat-trick from Riyad Mahrez will put Manchester City into the FA Cup final. The goal just before half time from the penalty spot after Iliman Ndiaye judged to have brought down Bernardo Silva for a dubious penalty. Mahrez converted it. He then scored a second on 61 minutes after searching through the midfield after winning the ball off Oliver Norwood. And then just a few minutes later, Jack Grealish, brilliant trickery out wide on the left hand side, up against the two Sheffield United defenders, Baldock and Sanderberg, and he allowed Mahrez to wrap up his hat-trick on 66 minutes. He's finished at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-final, the first of two FA Cup semi-finals. Manchester City 3, Sheffield United 0. And just before leaving hand you back to JB, it's currently still Wrexham 0, Bournemouth 1 in the National League. Can Wrexham turn that around, I wonder? Back to JB to wrap up this game. Finished in the game at Wembley, Man City 3, Sheffield United 0.
Thanks very much, Russ Vernon, and a very comprehensive victory for for Manchester City rather, over Sheffield United. And Riyad Mahrez becomes the first player to score a hat-trick in a semi-final since 1958. A long time since that happened. But a good performance. They're through to the final on June the 3rd. But who will join them? I wonder. We've got the second semi-final for you tomorrow with Paul James, who will be sat in Russ Vernon's seat to bring you full alternate commentary of a real corker. It should promise to be of a semi-final between Manchester United and Brighton and Hove Albion. A repeat of the 1983 final as Sheffield United are cheered away by their fans. They were turned out in their numbers. And it's been a very dominant display from Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez was the difference, but Sheffield United can be proud of their run. Had two great battles with Wrexham in the fourth round, knocked out Spurs terrifically well in the fifth, and maybe it was probably a bridge too far in the end, considering Manchester City, who have been in such ruthless form this season and have warmed up for the Arsenal game on Wednesday, and that's another game you can hear with us here on the TC Hub. They've really warmed up for that really in fine fettle this afternoon. No goal for Erling Haaland. He doesn't add to his 48 goals this season, but there's plenty more. I'm sure where that came from. It's still 1-0 incidentally in the game between Wrexham and Bournemouth, but there's a long way to go in that game at the Racecourse Ground, and Ryan Reynolds and Rob McCallie are there overseeing things there. Of course, there's a later score in the Championship. It's a Lancashire derby going on at Deepdale at the moment. They've played 49 minutes in that game. It's still Preston North End 0, Blackburn Rovers 0. Both teams trying to get in one of those playoff positions in the Championship. And I also have some sad news to bring you from League Two as well. Rochdale, who have been in the Football League for 104 years, I think they've been in there. Today they were relegated, beaten 1-0 by Stockport County. They go down to the National League sadly next season, and it's a real shame. Rochdale, one of the great clubs in lower league football, banished to the National League next season, and my sympathies go out to the Rochdale fans and all that. But another Mancunian team are in heaven tonight. Manchester City, all smiles, 3-0 victors. But what will we get tomorrow afternoon? Paul James will be the man in the box as Manchester United play Brighton, who have had a terrific season under Roberto De Zerbi, who have really lightened up the Premier League and have been my team of the season, I have to say, under Roberto De Zerbi. They've just been amazing to watch. Will it be a Manchester derby come the June the 3rd, or will Brighton spoil the Mancunian party and will the Seagulls be flying at Wembley Way again on June the 3rd? Well, the only way to find out is to tune in with Paul James tomorrow from 4:20. Kick-off for that game, 4:30. British summertime here on all the TCM platforms. Tremendous performance by Manchester City. Riyad Mahrez, definitely the TV player of the match, and definitely our player of the match, is sponsored, of course, by Commentary Services. Real performance and a half there, that is for sure. Apologies about the sound in the background. So let's just wrap it up with Russ Burning, if he's still there. Russ, I mean, it all hinged really on Sheffield United. I mean, they started very well, Sheffield United, didn't they? And it all hinged on that penalty decision really just before half-time, when, I mean, you were saying that they were robbed. They were a little bit hard done by. I'm sort of in the opinion that the referee's damned if he gives it and damned if he doesn't. So, I mean, VAR and all that, I mean, it's been in the news for all the wrong reasons. But do you think that penalty changed the game, changed the course of the game this afternoon?
I think it may have done, JB, because when you look at the match overall, my friend, I think Sheffield United were defending well up until that point, and then they've got to come out, and there were the other chances, and we're creating problems for Manchester City, but also they weren't overcommitting themselves, and as soon as that first goal went in, they had to overcommit themselves, and that's where they got through to get. And that's where Man City, in the second half, were overcommitting to try and get back into the game, Sheffield United. And that's where, when they lost it in midfield, when Norwood lost it, and then Mahrez ran through to score his second, that's when it all came about. And then third one, they were trying to get back into the game, and it's similar sort of thing happened again. So they have changed it, and changed the complexion of how Sheffield United were approaching the game. But I think overall, usually on the over 90 minutes, I think there can be no complaint. Sheffield United gave up a good fight. They gave the best possible chance of getting through. It's just that goal, as you mentioned, debatably on the show just before half time, probably changed it, changed the complexion in terms of the outcome at the end, JB.
Absolutely. I mean, Sheffield United have had a good season regardless. They're going to go up surely in second place unless Burnley do a Devon lock and lose the title. They're certainly trying to do their best impression of them. Having lost at QPR today, they've lost their proud unbeaten home record. I just want to, obviously, just before we leave, I know it's not FA Cup related, and there's just a couple of questions. I mean, we'll touch on the second semi-final before we leave and before we wrap up. But a word or two about a sad day really for Rochdale, relegated to non-league after 104 years in the Football League. It's a good little club, Rochdale. It's got a terrific fan base, a good little fan base. It's a lovely little football club, and I mean, it's a sad day when Rochdale go down, but when any team goes down. But what do you think were the fundamental reasons for why Rochdale have been relegated from the Football League this afternoon?
Well, I'm just looking at the game and the stats from the game as well, JB. They only had one attempt on targeting the entire game, and the old cliche is, if you don't have a go, you don't score, and if you don't have a go in the raffle, you don't win. And they only had one shot in the game all game, and I'm just going to look here now, and it came in the second half, and if you don't have a go in the first half, and you concede in the 8th minute to stoppage time in the first half, and then you have a go in a bit in the second half, and they've been able to create one chance, then there's no complaints. And like I say, it's sad to see anyone go down. A few weeks ago, JB, I'm not sure if any of us mentioned him much on the channel, but a few weeks ago it was another sad story, this time in the National League, when
Scunthorpe United, yes, I do remember.
Not so long ago was in the Championship, and now being relegated to National League North just a few weeks ago. That's a sad day. I think it happened over the Easter weekend when they got relegated, and that's the sad story there as well. And Yeovil,
Yeah.
who were in League One a few years ago, up against my team, Leeds United. It's another sad. They got relegated in midweek as well, so that's another sad state of affairs there as well.
Yeah.
And while I'm speaking, JB, speaking on the National League in general, I can just let people know if anyone's interested in the game between Wrexham and Boreham Wood.
And I'm sure they are.
Wrexham have just equalised through number 38, and I think number 38 is Elliot Lee, and Elliot Lee is. I think it is. Yes, Elliot Lee has just equalised for Wrexham. 15 minutes gone there, JB. It's Wrexham 1, Bournemouth 1, and Wrexham now need to score a second if they are to get promoted. And what a story that would be. All four of the Welsh clubs back in the Football League after a very long time away.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Wrexham back in the top flight. That's for sure. Well, back in the Football League anyway. Also, before we talk about the second semi-final tomorrow, I should also not be disrespectful to Leighton Orient today. They've wrapped up the League 2 title, so congratulations to them and everyone down at Brisbane Road. They're back where they truly belong in the third tier, and hopefully they'll do the bizzo and get back up into the Championship. They're a good little club, good little London club, and they deserve. And they've had a bad few years, of course, but they've got a very good manager. They've got a very good set of players, and they have been the top dogs in League 2 since the first week of the season. So well done to them. Right, one more thing we need to touch on now before we leave tonight. Of course, is the tantalising second semi-final tomorrow, which we'll have live on the TCL with Paul James commentating. If we get any co-coms and anything like that, we'll bring it to you on our Twitter handle at Commentary Live 1. This one, I think this is going to be a heck of a tie. This is a heck of a semi-final we've got on our hands tomorrow afternoon here at Wembley. Will it be an old Manchester final, or will Brighton, who have who have been one of my favourite teams to watch this season as a neutral, can they really go a bit further and really pull off the shot and beat Manchester United? I mean, United are there for the taking. They were absolutely abysmal in Seville the other night. They can't afford to make any mistakes now. Tomorrow, you think, at Wembley?
Absolutely, JB. And I was just about to say, when you asked that question, would it be really a shock if Brighton were to win tomorrow? Because where Brighton are playing at the moment, they're playing some fantastic stuff. Man United, they're a bit it's a miss at the moment. They're playing past 3 games against Seville in the first leg, Man United, Forest away in the Premier League, and then Seville in the second leg. They've been pouring all 3 games, Manchester United, and I don't really see it being a shock if Brighton were to win. I think it'd be a shock if Man United were to win and get through to the final. I think Brighton will. I think it'll be I don't think it'll be an Manchester affair in the final. I think Brighton will get through there. Roberto De Zerbi is doing a fantastic job there. But for me, I think Brighton will have enough to get through. And it's their second semi-final appearance, Brighton, in 5 seasons. They'll go one better this time around, when their dreams were shattered in 2018-19 by already finalists, who I saw today win 3-0, Manchester City.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think Brighton have got every chance tomorrow, that's for sure. But never discount Manchester United. They are a very good club, and I think Eric Ten Hag has done a really good job there. And regardless of what happens tomorrow, they've ended the trophy drought, that is for sure. Anyway, Russ, thank you for your commentary and your contributions today. It's been great working with you as always. It's been. We were probably prayed rather than believing for a real classic. We got a very good masterclass in how to attack from Manchester City today, and Riyad Mahrez, some scintillating a penalty, and then 2 scintillating goals. One where he just tore through the whole Sheffield United defence, and then scored a sumptuous third goal with his left foot just inside the penalty area to make it absolute. But who will join him? Will it be Manchester United, or will it be Brighton and Hove Albion? You can tune in to watch it or to listen to the game with Paul James tomorrow afternoon from 4:20 in the afternoon. Kick-off 4:30. Also, we've got more games coming up on the TC Hub as well. Plenty of good stuff coming up on Monday night. Championship action. We've got championship action from Kenilworth Road, where Middlesbrough and Luton, 2 playoff contenders, will meet off. Will meet off in what could, well, they could easily meet each other in the playoffs if things work out. There, it's third against fourth. Mark Harneman is your big match commentator. Nicholas Jones in the hot seat for that one presented. And then we've got another live championship action, more championship action for you as well. The Lancashire derby between Burnley and Blackburn. Can Burnley finally win the title on Tuesday, or will we be made to wait by the local rivals? Paul James will bring you that one, with Luke Turton bring you updates with Lee from Ellen Road of Leeds against Leicester. And then Paul will go to the Etihad on Wednesday night to bring you Manchester City against Arsenal. That's live again. Russ will be also covering West Ham Liverpool and bringing you updates from that one. And then on Thursday night, we've got a real relegation 6-pointer if ever there was one, between Rotherham United and Cardiff City in the Championship. And you'll hear that with Nicholas Jones on Thursday night. And of course, hopefully we'll have live games next weekend, and hopefully I'll be back commentating as well next weekend, which will be great for everybody with the TC Hub. I have been away for a while, but that's all from us this afternoon. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Be sure to join Paul James tomorrow for the second semi. I think that will be an absolute cracker, and I hope you'll enjoy it, and I hope you listen along with us to it. Sheffield United, well, as good as they gave it as good as they got for 40 or 43 minutes this afternoon. But then that dreaded VAR intervened. Was it a penalty? Was it not? I guess you're damned if you give it, you're damned if you don't give it. But in the end, City and Riyad Mahrez in particular were just far too good. From myself and Russ here at Wembley, Manchester City booked their place at Wembley in the FA Cup final. It's a very good night to you all. Good night.